welcome to another episode of Your Rational Moms. We're coming to you from Milk Estates, and it is November, and November is the month that we do a drive for Fisher House, or actually I do. So if you are new, hold on, there's a light that's really weird on my face. If you are new,
like somebody's putting you got like a spotlight on you.
Yeah, it's light coming through the tree. It does a reflection, and I can't do anything about it. I'd have to crawl in the desk and the table, and like it's an ordeal. So we're gonna have to just.
Well, if our viewers are blind like me, they won't even notice. So
yeah, get my glasses on and see what's going on. All right. So, anyways, November is the month I do a drive for the Fisher, or a fundraiser for the Fisher House. All proceeds 100% go to the Fisher House. So Fisher House is like a Ronald McDonald House, but it's for but it's equivalent to Ronald McDonald House, but it's for veterans and their families, or if active duty members and their families. So if they're injured and they go to a VA hospital or a hospital, any type of medical or military hospital, they have these houses there to help the families like stay there and be with their loved ones as they're going through like recovery or procedure or whatever it is. Anyways, it's near and dear to my heart because my family stayed in this when my dad was in a VA hospital over the course of many years. And I know you know about this, Annabelle, because you're around when we had to go stay at the Fisher House. So anyways, I will post a link on Instagram, and then I'll also post a link here too. So
we'll share it also.
Yeah.
Tris and I will also share it.
Yeah.
I have a friend who actually stayed in the Fisher House recently. Some longtime friends was the husband was injured overseas, and then when she was visiting him, once he got moved back to San Jose for rehab, they stayed, which is the same one that you guys were in, I think. So.
Oh yeah, at Palo Alto.
Yes. Yeah. So that's where they were. So they recently did that, and it really is it's just a comfort because you know you don't have to worry about your situation because it's so stressful anyway. You're like, and most people are. A lot of times it's like an emergency situation too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, or you haven't planned. With your dad, it was a little different because he was sick for a long time, but. You know, sometimes people have no idea what's going on. All of a sudden, you just got to turn up at some place and you have nowhere to stay. So it's a huge comfort to families.
Oh, yeah. And it saves the families a ton of money, too, because Absolutely. If you have to, and like, for instance, a place we're talking about is in Palo Alto, the VA hospital. And if you have to go get a room at a hotel, you're talking $300 to $500 a night. Because you're next to Stanford and everything. So, also what I like
affordable there.
No, there's nothing affordable there. Also, what I like about this charity or this organization is that it's a nonprofit. 98% of all their proceeds go back into the Fisher House. So they have a very low overhead management cost of like 2%. So, which is amazing because a lot of organizations, most of the money never even sees the people that they're trying to help. So anyways,
it's important when you're donating to charity, you want to know how much money is actually being spent on people and how much is going to CEOs and other, causes. So you should always check into that. Fisher House is a good one.
Yeah, Fisher House is a good one. So anyways, I do. Yeah. So I will be doing that for the whole month of November, starting tomorrow because Veterans Day is on the 11th. Yeah. So,
it's next Monday.
Yeah. We like to support our veterans. So if you're a veteran or active duty member, thank you for your service.
The only ones that we used to be married to.
Yes. All right. Hey, so don't forget, you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and then we also have an Instagram, we have a Reddit, and we have a Twitter or X account. So come on over and, drop by, subscribe, leave a question. We love answering our fans. In fact, we do have a fan question this week too. So we have a lot of things to get into because we haven't seen each other in a while. So we're going to talk about, my hunting trip because I've been gone most of the month. We're going to talk about Annabelle's Halloween costume, which was amazing. We'll throw up a picture of that. We're going to talk about Jason Kelce destroying a phone and the controversy around that, and some of us have different opinions about that. Also talk about the time change, which is wonderful if you live on the here.
No, It's never wonderful. I don't want it to be dark at 5 o'clock. What the hell?
Right.
We gained an hour. We gained an hour.
So what?
Yeah.
It's the same amount of hours in the day. We gain an hour of darkness in the evening.
I'm with Annabelle. I don't want it to be dark earlier.
No.
I
Like
know.
5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting my second job of driving kids for hours. And now being
In the dark?
in rush hour
Oh, yeah.
is bizarre and worse. It's terrible.
Well, I always feel like, I'm like, man, it's like, I just want to go to bed earlier.
Yeah,
like last night, I was like,
you
at 8
don't have to
o'clock.
be up doing a bunch of stuff, you know.
Yeah, I know it is. I mean, if you're, I guess there's some time zones that don't do it, right? But we're one of the time zones that actually it is lights.
Hawaii and Arizona don't do it. I don't know who else. And
Oh,
we
what?
voted on
I
it
did.
before.
Why did I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
Did not
it's
know
stupid.
that.
Yeah,
I do think it's stupid, but
we had voted on it to abolish the time change. Maybe I think it was the last presidential cycle, and it passed. But then, and that's happened before, and then somehow something repeals it, and they don't do it. It's like, well, if the people want this,
right?
Overwhelmingly people everywhere want this. So
Yeah.
I don't understand. What are we don't have.
I know. You know, I don't like the time change. I mean, I did like the fall because we do gain an hour of sleep, but
You don't gain it. I don't understand when people say that. For one day, you get an extra hour of sleep. You're not gaining anything long term. It's literally one day. And for most people that know it's happening, you don't go to bed at the same time. You stay up an extra hour because you know you can sleep. So like,
oh, I forgot about it on Saturday.
I mean, I just don't understand the purpose because we don't have children that need to toil in the fields at 5 a.m. in the winter. So I don't understand what it's for, you know.
Well, we do have people, we are in an agricultural state that we do have people that are in the fields, you know, picking stuff.
Children?
No, not children.
Exactly.
Adults.
That's what it was for. Adults can go and work in the dark and then what about people that want to work in the evening? Then they're in the dark then. So
yeah, they should just change their schedule. That's all they got to do, right?
I ain't changing my schedule to where.
No, not you, but people who are actually in like farming, they could just change their schedule to make it work with like if it gets darker or lighter. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Anyways, I guess that's our topic of we don't like the time change.
No, yeah. I wish I can't get my camera right. I'm like not in the center and it's like crooked, but if I adjust the camera, it's gonna undo itself.
Okay, don't adjust the camera. Okay, I will say this. The fall time change doesn't bother me. It's the spring that like it really messes me up. Yeah, like spring forward, I'm like, it really messes me up.
What? But why? Then you just get more light. It's great.
No, I think it's because it's just changing that hour. It always messes me up in the spring. It takes me a couple of weeks to get like.
You're an adult. I don't know any adult. Like I feel like that happens to babies that can't regulate themselves. But like,
are you saying I cannot regulate myself?
I mean,
that's true.
I'm a little surprised to be honest with you because it's like I don't know many adults that like that. You know, I mean, I also can never sleep. Period. So. I was so tired last night. I was in bed at 9 and I was so excited. But then guess what? Wake up at 2 and can't go back to sleep. So like
you went to bed at 9.
It doesn't matter. My point is just when I think I'm going to get a full night's nice sleep. Mm-hmm. No. So I think I went back to bed at 5:30.
I got up at 5.
Why did you guys shrink? You guys shrunk back in your like no. I was like
I leaned forward.
Oh, because the light.
And I leaned forward because what happens is, and Matt said, our heads all need to be aligned across the screen, and mine isn't right now. But if I adjust my camera, it'll probably disconnect or do something dumb. So I'm just leaning forward so my head is aligned with y'all's. Because if I'm sitting like this, it makes his editing harder. Because see how I'm like a bunch higher than y'all?
Oh.
So I don't know.
Oh, that's true.
It's okay. It's all fine. It's all good.
Matt, can I sit like this? Is it fine?
You were helping out with some little cleavage.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help if there's some juggy action, I think. Nobody cares. Like, just sit like that. It's fine. Yeah, we don't care.
It's going to be okay. Keep the jug.
All right. I mean, I can't, if I lean forward, then I'm like this.
No, you're fine. I was trying to even out with you and Tris because you guys are even.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's get to, we have so much to talk about. And then and college football and then NFL. What happened yesterday and what's going on tonight and what's going on tonight?
God.
Please beat the Chiefs. Baker Mayfield, come on, get your
I like Mayfield. He's like one of my favorite quarterbacks.
I love Baker,
but he's not going to beat the Chiefs. So
they're going to lose eventually. Nobody's going.
Oh, they will. I mean, yeah, I know.
Maybe this will be the night because actually, I mean, the Bucks are screwed because they lost Mike Evans and what's his face? What's the other guy? The other Chris Godwin. Thank you, Matt. They lost both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and that is pretty devastating. So, otherwise, I mean, the Bucks are pretty good. Otherwise, you never know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to. We'll talk all about that, but first we need to see the snack because you were preparing it beforehand. Oh, and hey, I love how you're like getting ready to. It's tomorrow's voting day across America, and Tris, I guess, is very patriotic here over here.
Tris, you voted already,
making me whiter. Yeah, I did. I did last weekend.
That's what I thought. My ballot, because in California everybody gets mailed a ballot, and my ballot didn't come, so I called, and they sent me another one. So it just arrived. I just saw it in the mailbox this weekend, so I have to fill it out today. I might take it today. I mean, I kind of like going on election day. Like, there's something fun about it, but I also
get a sticker. You get a sticker.
Tris had a sticker. You get a sticker.
I did.
If you go to a polling place to return your ballot or to vote, you get one regardless of if you're early or on the day. So I don't normally go to an actual. I don't normally go to like my own polling place specifically. I just go to a place where you put it in a box in front of somebody. Because also, I think that we don't know how true any of this stuff is, but people have talked about, ballot boxes being messed with or something. But if you're going inside a polling center and putting your thing in the box in there, well, that's inside at least. So
yeah, that's true.
If I get it done today, I'll go today, but I probably will have to do it tomorrow. But I think it's good if you go early because then it gives them, I feel like it gives them less to do on election day. Not less to do. They're going to be, but you know what I mean? If they're already counting the ballots, I think that's good.
So, I mean, when states already have a hard time counting in one day, which is wild to me, but because Florida does it all in one day. But yeah, I mean, I do think the early voting is helpful.
So you have early voting in Florida. Florida's an early voting state?
Yes. It actually ended maybe Saturday. I think Saturday was the last day.
Yeah, a lot of places were Friday or Saturday they ended, I think.
Yeah, I voted, and then I got some wings after, so I felt... They had two different stickers. Yeah, they had like the traditional I voted, like the red, white, and blue, and then they had one that was very tropical, and he was like, oh, here you, it was like an older guy, and he's like, here, and I was like, oh, I like this one, and he's like, oh, traditional. I was like, you know what, the other one's cute, so I'm just gonna take both. And he was like, oh, okay.
Right? Oh, I like this tropical one be cute.
Right? I was like, I'm gonna get both. Thanks.
So guys, we never discuss politics, but we do think everyone should go vote because you cannot complain about anything if you don't at least vote.
Well, it's also, you're right. It's also like if you are, it's your chance to actually, make a difference.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Even if you feel like, we're in California, so I feel like our presidential candidate is going to be
it's already chosen.
Regardless of what we do, but there's so many important elections that are not just the president. A ton of things matter. So you should really,
They send that little
a summary or whatever.
The summary, which was really nice because there were a lot of things on there that I didn't know the people and stuff. So I actually had time to go and do a little research. So I was like, there's no point in leaving it blank, but I do still want to make a good decision and not just
like on a lot of those things, like you do really need to watch the language of how, like when they have a measure or a wand.
Yeah, they're very confusing.
They are. And if you read it closely, it's like, it says like voting no, you think, oh, voting no is going to be no for this, but it's actually like they can flip it around and confuse you.
Well, and some of the ballot, whatever they call them, the explanations.
The measures
have been written. There was one, I can't remember what state it was, but it was some measure. Basically, the point of the measure was to do away with gerrymandering, but a certain party controlled the language, wrote the language in the thing. So they basically made it sound like if you vote one way, you're doing away with gerrymandering, but they're tricking you. So people were going into, I think it might have been Chicago, no, it wasn't Chicago's, but if people are going into the poll thinking, oh, I need to vote yes for this, but then they read the explanation and they're like, oh, wait, I'm wrong. It's no. And then they realize, oh my God, they tricked me. So I'm not naming any parties purposely because it's not about that. It's about, you need to actually pay attention. And know what you're voting for and read if you care.
I
because
agree.
civic engagement matters.
Like here, and I'm sure it was like this everywhere, but it was like you had these like vote no on 4, yes on 3, or like they had these things, and you could see both of the little commercials for it were just so extreme, and I was like, what?
Exactly.
How are you guys even able to put out these things that are clearly on both sides a little bit like exaggerating of what the actual thing they've pinpointed like one thing that people would like or wouldn't like, and like if you don't do this, this is not going to be available, but nothing else about this. So I just did my research. Everybody should do their research, make a good decision, and then you can't complain if you went out and did your part. So
right, like your city attorney matters, your school board matters. I mean, you know,
exactly.
Oh, and all those measures and bonds, because they're going to raise your taxes. And also watch out for the language, because some of them will be like, oh, we have the option of putting this back into the general fund. So I mean, just really, really pay attention to like what you're voting for, and don't just be like, oh, this sounds like it's a good idea.
Right. Or like some of those, I remember in Georgia when there was a toll road being proposed or something, it's like, oh, you just pay the toll for 20 years and it goes away, and then that toll ain't never going to go away. Or like, you know,
oh yeah, we had one kind of like that. That was like a 10-year tax for something to help, and I was like,
right, is it really ever going to go away? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe not.
Okay, this,
and
by the
don't
way,
be talking about politics on our pages, guys. Again, that's not, are these comments?
No, I think we're not.
That's not what we're doing here. We're encouraging everyone.
Vote.
Yeah.
This is not my snack of the week. I'm just hungry, but I have a side bagel. Side bagel prepared.
Your snack and your actual food.
Free snack. You know, let me tell you how the human body works. All right, you got to prep it. Okay. Oh, so I haven't actually got a different true fruit. I think I've had these before, but I did the raspberry ones, which are really good.
Those are really good.
I think the raspberry ones are actually, I don't know if those are white chocolate and chocolate. I think they're yogurt and chocolate, but these are actually blueberries with white chocolate and dark chocolate.
So, nice. So is it dry? Is it freeze dried fruit dipped? Is that what they are?
Yes, frozen, fresh in white and dark chocolate. And there's only 90 calories to balance out my bagel, because who knows how many calories are in that.
90 calories in what? What?
90 calories in 10 to 12 pieces. Okay, that's what's up. That's good. That's a good number. It's not like cookies where it's like 2 cookies, and I'm like, who are you helping here?
Right. Everybody's having more than that.
Oh, that's good. The dark chocolate.
Oh, I love dark chocolate. Yeah.
I brought a snack, but I'm not hungry, but in case I got hungry, because I wasn't sure. It's like leftover of the Halloween treats I made for the all the water. Yeah, so I do. Nice. I do on Fridays. There's usually a morning practice Thursday and Friday for water polo, and I do a breakfast for the team on Fridays. Just like, it sucks to get up that early, so even though I hate mornings, it's like a morale booster when they know they're getting out of the pool and they got breakfast burritos or muffins or bagels or whatever.
You're such a good mom.
I breakfast burritos.
I try to balance out the good and the bad. What was I going to say? So this week, though, because Thursday was Halloween, and it was also, so we're done with the regular season now, so we're going into the CIF, which is state championships, and so the JV team's done. Normally they practice together. So Thursday was the last JV practice, too. So I did a big breakfast, and I did like Halloween treat bags, which is so extra. But they're also high school kids, so they're not like going trick-or-treating for the most part. So they get a little bag of candy with some homemade treats. And then Friday I did a breakfast as well. So I was like so tired because I was doing all this extra crap. But it was, it was nice. So starting next week, we got state tournament happening. So that's exciting.
I'm like exhausted just listening to your schedule. I don't know how you do it.
I don't either. And I mean, I was really like kind of screwing myself because I didn't plan. I thought I was going to do the Halloween treat bags for Friday because I just didn't have time. And I'm like, well, then it'll be like half the amount of kids, so I don't have to do as much. But then I felt guilty, and it wasn't actually Halloween. So I like hustled and baked all the sugar cookies, got them decorated, made the Rice Krispie treats. I did all of that in like Wednesday night. And
you are such a good mom.
Really, in some ways, I try to balance out,
But that's really good. I mean, I just buy candy from the store and stick it in a bowl and.
Well, I mean, the candy they got was from the store. I wasn't making homemade candy for them. But it was nice. And and Friday I did breakfast burritos because when I'm doing breakfast burritos for the team, I don't make them at home. I go to the experts who make better burritos than me and purchase them. I mean, I make them on Sunday I'll make burritos for the week for my kids, but my burritos just aren't as good as the taco shop.
Well, plus that's a lot of.
It's a lot. If I'm doing burritos for 23 people, that's a lot of time, and also so much ingredients. I would have to make them at work, not in my home.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just.
It's better.
It's probably cheaper. It's probably cheap. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper probably just to buy it anyways, because after you buy all the ingredients and do it,
it's expensive. That's an expensive one to do, but I think it would be also doing it at home would be expensive too. Because if it's for my kids for the week, I'm using maybe 2 pounds of bacon, but imagine for 23 people.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's going to be $300 in bacon from Costco or something.
Well, so now that we're talking about we're kind of rolling into Halloween. So I was home for 2 days last week, really fast, and mainly for Halloween. And then I left the next morning to go back hunting. But I did enjoy walking down the street a little bit with the little kids that aren't mine.
Yeah.
Because mine are all teenagers and they want nothing to do with their parents anymore on Halloween. Which is actually fine. So,
Absolutely.
It's cool. I might have eaten a few Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Probably more than I should probably have eaten. Had a couple last night. Actually, I went through last night and dark out we have a huge bag of candy that the neighbors gave us, but no one in my family eats candy except for the Reese's peanut butter cups. And those darn kids of mine ate all of them except for 3. And I only got 3 pieces left.
So you gotta go early and hide them. I took some out. I put them in my drawer. That way I have them if I want them. I don't want one.
It's like a parent tax.
Exactly. It's a mom tax. Just like if you get a smoothie I like, if you get a McFlurry, I'm always going to take a bite of the Oreo McFlurry.
You have more self-control than we do, clearly.
Okay.
I went on Saturday. I got Extreme Reese's ice cream. It had peanut butter cups in there and Reese's Pieces. So I support the peanut butter cup.
Where at?
That sounds pretty good.
At the store or at an ice cream place?
It's like an ice cream place. Yeah, they have a different flavor every day, which is a little frustrating because oftentimes I'll get one that I want and then a single scoop of something I want to try just for variety. And then I loved this sugar cookie one because there was actually a whole sugar cookie in it. And I was like, oh, I should have got that. And now it's who knows when it's coming back. So sad.
Is it one of those places that mixes in the fillings to order?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Cold Stone. Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah. But what were you gonna?
Oh, I'm sorry. Because Annabelle brought this up a couple weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago. Those Reese's dipped
pretzels.
Oh yeah. So we were in a gas station coming back from Idaho hunting again. And it was a gas station in Oregon, and I saw the pretzels and I saw the animal crackers.
Those are bomb too.
And so I was I grabbed them for my middle child, and I was at the time I was fasting because I was I need to I've been drinking and eating too much during hunting season. So I'm Annabelle really likes these. I'm try them out. And he's oh, okay, yeah, whatever. And then he was oh my God. He's these are the best things ever. And I went to our local grocery store. They don't carry them. I can only find them at the gas station. And I asked the gas station guy, and I'm what's up with this? And he's no, they're a specialty treat. You can only find them a novelty type of treat. You can only find them at the gas stations.
I've seen them at
Target.
No, I don't go to Target anymore. But
does Amazon carry them?
I don't know. I see them at CVS or Walgreens type places. I see them there too.
That's kind of almost like a convenience store.
Yeah.
Vibe. Yeah. So I could see that.
Okay. But you know what? I actually have seen them. There's a store directly by my house that I can walk to, and I have seen them in there. Maybe twice. I mean, I rarely go to the store, but I've been trying to go to the store more and rely less on delivery services, but
same.
It's hard. It's hard. I'm like, I'm helping someone.
There's a balance, right? I mean, if
Yes.
you're actively doing something, I'm like, this would benefit me for somebody else to do it while I'm being productive.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to do that more. Like, don't just do it because
Yeah.
you're lazy, but when you're busy and you need it, do it. When you're not busy, just go to the freaking. But then, like the other day, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I got time. I'm gonna go to the store. Go in the store. I get my cart full of crap. It's like $300 or something. And I'm at the thing, and then I swipe my card, and then the card reader thing like dies, like it shorts out or something. The lady's like, "Hold on, we got to let it restart." And I'm like, "Okay," because I'm the most impatient person ever. Like I will abandon something I'm doing if like even the slightest inconvenience pops up, even if it's to my own detriment. So I'm like making myself stay because I want to just abandon it and be like, "No, I can't."
The whole cart, just take it. I'm sorry.
I spent, 45 minutes in the store, and I was going to give it up. I'm like, don't do it. It's fine. It's fine. So it reboots, and it still won't work, and it dies again. I'm like, can't you just print the receipt out and take me to another register and scan it? Because I've seen this happen at other stores.
Yeah.
She's like, well, no, tell me why that won't work. I'm like, fuck. So then the lady, this goes on for like 10 minutes. I'm starting to lose my patience. Not that
I can see it. Yeah.
So then, like the manager comes up, but they're all being real lazy and casual about it. I'm like, no, guys, I need to go. Like, come on, there has to be a way to resolve this. Finally, the lady's like, well, I'm just gonna have to rescan everything. It's already in bags. I'm like, so I take my stuff over to the other register, and the lady's lollygagging doing something. And so then I notice the card reader comes back up. I'm like, can we please try one more time? And the manager goes, stop arguing. I'm like, the hell? I'm not arguing. I'm saying it's booted back up. Can we just try it once? And she starts telling me why we shouldn't. I'm like, please, can we just try? And so we try and it works. And I'm like, see, you're going to make me stand there.
Damn.
Yeah. I was so irritated. And I was even being nice to the cashier at first, like trying to chat.
Standoffish energy.
Now we just know she's never going back to that grocery store again.
No. Well, I normally when I go in there, it's for just a couple things, and I go through the self-checkout. And this is what I get for trying to do like a real shopping trip for myself. Yes, I do have Matt says I have standoffish energy and people are on edge, which is true. And that's why I like that because it prevents most people from trying to talk to me out in public. Like, I don't want to look approachable. I'm not friendly. I'm shy and nervous.
I will say though, customer service at grocery stores is not what
dude, they're horrible.
It's not what it used to be like, right? Where it's like, I feel like that, like when I go in there and I'm like, would you like paper or plastic? And then they get like one bag out and they fill it up. And I'm like, why don't you get like 5 bags and do
I'm bagging my own groceries.
I do too. Cause I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I lose my like patience. I'm like, move, like just move. I'm like, do not put my milk and lay it down on the back in the bag. Like, what are you doing?
Why you put avocados on the bottom? Cans of soup. Like, the only time I allowed their person to bag it is if it's someone with special needs, because a lot of stores will have those programs. They can bag my groceries. They can do it however they want. I'll be patient for that. But just a regular ass adult, sorry for the cussing,
or a teenager,
or comes up there and they're just like lazy and looking the other way. I'm like, it's not hard to bag, but how can you literally not understand that you don't put an avocado in a bag with soup? Like, how is that something you need to be taught? It's astonishing to me that people have so little common sense and awareness that like, oh, this isn't the right thing to do.
Or dryer sheets.
They're so slow. They're so slow.
I know.
And I'm like, we can hurry it up, right? I'm like, you can get multiple bags out and we can just like think about the process. Exactly. Like, how can you streamline this? And they just can't.
I worked at Sam's Club whenever I was in like getting out of high school, and we had there was a goal and you wanted to like try and be the fastest to like scan as many things. And then some of these people,
at Piggly Wiggly, we had like a system and they actually taught people how to bag groceries. And like, I'm like, if I could figure it out, as a high school student and, podunk little town, it really can't be that hard, right?
Little Piggly Wiggly. I need a Piggly Wiggly shirt. Just
I have a Piggly Wiggly shirt somewhere.
I saw a shirt. This is sidetracked, but I saw a shirt that reminded me of you, Annabelle. It said "Rolling Fatties," and it was like a cat that they were rolling in a thing. I don't know why. I was like, okay, I need that, but it was like a very large.
Okay, getting back to Halloween really fast. Do you want to tell us, Annabelle, what you were for Halloween?
This year I always do some version of a cat thing. I think I talked about this here
Yeah.
before. Some hybrid version of something to do with a cat. And so this year I was Smelly Cat from Friends. So basically I dressed up as Phoebe with a cat. But I wore the shirt. Like I ordered the shirt because nobody would be able to get the costume without some sort of visual cue, I think. And even then, I think only people that are like in a certain age range understand it. But it was cute, and it was kind of low effort because I didn't have a lot of energy this year, and I didn't really plan. So
Is that a blonde wig? I'm just noticing it's not your
Yeah.
hair.
the blonde
It's
wig
so
and
funny.
the smelly cat shirt, and then I already had all the cat stuff, and then the ukulele belongs to one of my kids, and I just ordered. I thought I actually ordered a mini guitar with a strap, but when it came, I had just ordered the strap, so I had to borrow the actual one of those Amazon trickery things. Like there's a guitar in the picture, but you don't read the fine print, and it's only the guitar strap.
I like it. I
That's
like
funny.
it. That's really good. That's really good. All right, so let's talk about like really fast my hunting trip. I don't want to like bore anybody, but yeah, I've been gone most of the month, and yeah,
Did you get anything that people want to know?
we did. Yeah.
Do I get any deer meat? Is what I want to know.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I will get you some deer meat. Yes. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I kind of just want to like quit everything and move out of state and hunt all day long.
Yeah.
Be a guide.
I can see you. You're like your retirement plan. You're like a hunting guide because you can track and all that stuff. Not like people that want to go do trophy hunting, but people that want to do real hunting. I think you'd be great at that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of patience, right? Like Mr.
Mhm.
Poindexter went with me for a couple days. And he's just like, I can't believe you just drive around and you're just looking for hours, like,
Right.
you know, through binoculars, through a spotting
Yeah.
scope, and like watching. I'm like, that's part of the hunt. I'm like, that's just part of like it. It's not like you just go out there and you're like, oh, well, you see a bunch of deer and we're just going to go. I mean, and it's a lot. There's a lot of tracking. Like oh God, like this. Yeah. I mean, hours, like 5 to 7 hours. That's why I don't like hiking, because I will go out and I know it's like, hey, I have a purpose, and the purpose is like I'm following these tracks, and then you lose them, and then you have to, you know, circle back around. And one time he was out there with me, and he's just like, he's talking, and I'm like, basically, I'm like, shut the, like, stop. You can't talk out here. And then he's walking off to the side of me, and I'm like, listen, I'm like, these deer circle back around. I'm like, and you could be walking on tracks, you know. I was like, just please go back to the truck and turn on your YouTube and do whatever you're gonna do.
He's brushing the tracks behind him.
Right?
Helping you out, little guys. Get away.
And then one time I was tracking this deer, and then I'm like, I think after 5 hours, I'm like, I think I lost him. And he's like, well, I can go out there and pick it up. And I'm like, the person that like who's never hunted,
the audacity of him to think that his indoor loving self is going to track a deer is
I know, right? I was like, okay.
I mean, I couldn't do it. You gotta learn how to do that. That's like a skill.
Right.
I mean, it's not too bad, but you have to learn that it's like there's old tracks and new tracks, and then like how do you circle? You know, I mean, it's a lot of patience. It's a lot of like just, you know, it's a lot of patience. That's all it is. But it's just relaxing to be out there. And most of the time I was out away from areas I had no cell service, so that was nice. Actually nice too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So did you get anything?
Yeah. We got a buck, and so we're talking about that before. I don't know if we want to go into the gory details of it, but yeah.
So how do you, if you're out in the wilderness, how do you get the deer back? Like,
so there's a couple
you're a tiny woman. Tell us what you do.
So there's a couple different ways, right? If you're far from your vehicle or from a road, you could quarter the animal up and then pack it out, right? So we have packs, so we could do that. So you would have to like partly skin it and there on the ground and like cut it up. I've been doing this since I was like 12. And so I try to find shortcuts to everything in life, like how to make life easier. I have a Sawzall that's battery operated.
Well, because you have to cut the deer up, right? You have to field dress it. You don't just take the whole thing back to.
No. Funny story is that like my cousin we were dropping the deer off yesterday at a butcher in town, and somebody had brought in a buck, and they had not even skinned it out yet. And I'm like, what
Like they just drug the whole thing in there?
Yeah. I mean, they must have gutted it, but they were like skinning it in the parking lot. And I'm like, what is this?
Wait, they're skinning it in the parking lot?
Yeah, I don't think they knew how to skin a deer. And I'm like, it's really not that hard. I'm like, there are videos on YouTube.
Does it have to be skinned to take it to the
You're supposed to, yeah. Or to the butcher, yeah. And I mean, they usually won't take it unless you're like skin. So
that's why I was wondering. So they got there and they probably didn't know they had to skin it. So they're out in the parking lot.
I guess they were just like, they're new and they had no idea what to do. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, you shouldn't be hunting if you don't know how to like properly like, you know, skin a deer and like gut it and everything like that. Right. So,
yeah.
So there's ways like we were kind of close to a road. So we're able to like, you know, gut it, drag it over. And then we did all the field dressing out there. Yeah. So it's not too bad. I mean, it helps like when you have multiple people that help you, like, you know, skin it all out and everything. My dogs got some extra treats, right? So I brought the liver and heart home because I usually feed them like beef liver and heart. So it's better because it's all organic, right?
Do they love it?
It's in the refrigerator right now, but I brought home other parts of the deer, like a hip bone. So they ate some hip bones last night. I'll send you pictures. Like they destroyed that meat like within like an hour.
Yeah.
The bullet was cool to see. Although like I know that's what you want them to do with like once it gets inside, but it's just like wild to see it outside and it's all like floured out or whatever
how they flatten out. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a fun trip. It was fun. Nice. I think my family's glad I'm home. When I came home 2 days last week, they're like, "Oh, so you're done?" And I'm like, "No, I'm leaving." They're like, "Why? Like again?" And I'm like,
"We need a mom." Is Grandma Poindexter back too?
Yeah, so she's back, and yeah, so they're fine. They said they miss me, but I'm like,
they're probably fine. Yeah, they know how to use DoorDash. They're fine.
Yeah, they're totally fine. So. And I took one of them with me to Idaho, so it was fun. Although I do need to be in Idaho a lot longer than like 3 days. I need like a good 10 days of hunting.
Oh, is that all you were there? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It was a fast trip because we had so many back-to-back hunting trips. Like it was like I needed to be like in Nevada by a certain time, so I couldn't like. And I probably shouldn't have even gone to Idaho because it was like more driving than it was anything else. But I don't know.
Yeah, next year you plan to go to Idaho for longer.
Yeah, I will. Yep, and freeze. Hunted a lot in the snow.
Not me, man. I do like that it's cooler now, but I don't want to be in the snow.
Like when I'm seeing stuff on TV where it's snowing, I'm like, it's really messing with my mind because it's 84 today here. So I'm like, hey, y'all got some cold weather. There's cold weather in other parts of the country. Okay.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, the other morning for team breakfast, I think it was like 50, right? And I've got on like a full beanie and like a winter coat and stuff. And everybody's freezing out here. But I'm like, man, this is really probably not that cold for non-Californians.
No, I was out one morning and it was like 22 degrees tracking. And you could see the frost like on the tracks. Yeah. No. You know, the one thing I bought, which I will say like, was saved my life this year was hand warmers, like those ones you get at Costco when you buy. Oh my god! So I have a case of them now in my truck and then outside. That is really good, Annabelle, because you should throw some of those in your car. So like even to just put them in your pockets, like for your hands without gloves.
We'll have to.
There's a pack on Amazon that I have for my little like survival kit or whatever. And it's got like five toe warmers. It's got 5 hand warmers and then 5 like extra large hand warmers.
I should put that in some of those in my kit also. But so for girls water polo, the high school season is winter. So boys is going to finish up here in, a couple weeks, depending on how far you go in state. And then girls starts. And so for the girls season, I'm going to be out in the rain and cold a lot. And so I definitely need to get some of those because especially with my arthritis, like when my hands get cold, they just they'll hurt for like days. It's like I can never fully warm them up. Like the other day when I got home, I had my hands wrapped in a heating pad for like 2 hours, like 98 years old, basically.
I need to get some cropped sweaters so I can feel like it's cold.
Get some, like I have a sweater because I like the way sweaters look, but I can almost never wear them because I get too hot. I need to have on short sleeves with a jacket because when I start sweating, I'm dying. So I got a sweater. I think it is a cheap one, maybe like Shein or something, but it's got holes in it. So it's really not that warm, but it's like off the shoulder, white, cute. I'm like, it's perfect if you want to feel wintry, but not really like be hot.
Yeah.
You know?
I think a lot of it too, like when you're outside in the cold, and you know this, Annabelle, because you sit out on these water polo matches. Keeping your head warm, like with a nice hat, is probably is huge, right? That, and then also, what I kind of realized I was missing. I probably should have took. Remember those comfies, Tris, that you have?
Yeah.
Originally, my daughter had one, and then I think we got one for your youngest, right?
Yes, and then all of my kids had to have one. But I was like, dang, that would have been amazing to have the comfy, like when I'm just standing outside, like just watching.
Yeah, because those things are thick.
I'm gonna steal the comfy for next year.
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna look ridiculous out there in camo with a comfy, pink comfy over me.
I bet they make them.
Not buying a camo comfy.
That's funny.
All right, so let's get on to football.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this whole thing with Jason Kelce, you want to start off at Annabelle?
Well,
I mean, eat my bagel.
I don't want to. Basically, Jason Kelce. I mean, we all have mixed feelings about the Kelces. So taking our personal feelings about the overexposure of the Kelces, whatever, take all that out of it. Jason is like full on dad energy at the tailgate. He's like walking through the crowd with a half drink case of beer and a beer in his hand, probably too. And there's some kid. He was at college game day, I think. It was a Penn State Ohio State game, I think. And a lot of people are like, he's like fist bumping the crowd. People are, Kelce, give me a fist bump, and this one guy's yelling. We'll just play the video now, Max. I'm not going to actually say what.
Kelce! Hey, Kelce! How do you feel your brother's a Kelce, can I get a fist bump? Kelce, can I get a fist bump?
So basically the guy's saying, how does it feel that your brother is the F word homophobic slur because he's dating Taylor Swift, which doesn't really make sense. I mean,
right.
I don't like, I've made my feelings clear. I don't like Taylor Swift. None of this is in defense of her or Travis, I think, from any of us, but it's one of those insults that doesn't even make sense. And whatever. And so basically Jason takes the kid's phone, slams it on the ground. And the funniest part to me is that then he picked it up and walked off with it. Like full on, like, Dad, you're in trouble. You're in timeout. I'm taking your phone. And then apparently, so then now TMZ posted later some more video. There's a whole bunch of views. Then Jason's basically saying, yeah, Matt, show that video too. Let's go. Like, the dude's taunting him in his face. And which personally I love, because it's like, oh, you're an internet troll and you went out of the house and you said this stuff out loud in public that you would say behind a computer screen normally. And when you're typing stuff at home, you got no real consequences. But when you're in public and you're yelling out stuff, somebody might react. And I think pretty much Jason's definitely going to have to buy that kid a new phone, and the kid might sue him.
And what's he going to sue him for? Damage?
I think some of my bias is because I just don't care for the Kelces, but I'm trying to be, I'm trying to not be biased. I'm like, at the end of the day, they both kind of, I respect that he wanted to stick up for his family, but it's like the guy was wrong. But you're in the public eye. People are going to say stupid crap to you all the time.
It doesn't matter if you're in the public eye or not. You're still human, and you're still at some point.
And that was really egregious of the kid to say. Like, Jason's out in public a lot, and I'm sure people say all kinds of messed up things. But when you're just taunting someone over and over, honestly, I have no problem with some consequences coming your way. And yeah, Jason will probably have consequences too. He's probably going to have to buy him a new phone. Who knows what else? But I would totally buy the kid a new phone.
I mean, I'd buy him a new phone and that's it. And I'd just be like, and you could try to sue me, but what are you going to sue me for? The cost of the phone? I mean, That's basically what you're going to do, because it's just it will get
what are your
out.
Damages? You made your
damages are the cost of your phone.
Self look like an idiot on the internet because you were screaming a homophobic
and then
slur.
The point that you brought up was very valid, is that, he sues him. Now it's public record. And now you're going to get like a lot of hate. So because your name will now be out there. So I mean, unless the kid's really stupid, which who knows, he probably is.
It's a thing for me, and I'm not perfect. I'm trying very hard to like find that balance. But it's like there was this saying that's like if somebody tries to give you anger, you can either accept it, which is typically what happens. People get super heated and they're like, no, F you back. And then they like lash out. Or you can just not accept the anger. And then who does the gift belong to? It still belongs to that person. So that's just me really trying to be devil's advocate, really. I just think they were both kind of in the wrong. Unfortunately for Jason, maybe he had some right to defend his family, but I still think they were both kind of in the wrong.
Well, I mean, you're right. You're right. But we're human.
If you take it seriously,
we are human. Like we're human, so people.
Yeah, they're both wrong. But the way I look at it is like, nah, I'm sick of internet trolls. You want to go out there and harass me in public? I might do that same thing, honestly. Not for something minor, but like, you're really going to scream this over and over, like. Even if you don't like the Kelces, like, what is the point of that? And so, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. And I think a lot of people are sick of internet trolls. And so they're just like.
I think so too. Or I think you're sick of people using a camera to try to get a response out of somebody. And it's like, well, hey, if you want to use the camera and get a response, here's your response that you're going to get. Because also, it's like, it's unfair. I mean, yeah, he is a celebrity.
Well, Jason's not a politician. Like, he doesn't have the same, like, yes, he's a public figure and should mostly behave good. This is a dude that drunkenly took off his shirt at the Bills game and screamed in the crowd. Like, this is not some guy that we should be looking to as like a bastion of morality in the first place. I'm not saying he's a bad person or anything like that, right? But like, he's not a religious figure. He's not a politician. He's a freaking football player. And he did some things that you might expect of someone takegating in a football crowd. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of my feeling about it.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like if you're going to harass somebody and you're going to stick a like cell phone in someone's face and then try to get a response, well, here's your response. And to me, also, I think it's like, yeah, you're right, Tris, but it's like, he's human and he has like, has the right to like, we only can take so much. Like Annabelle says, like, we get trolls all the time too. And it's like, we're still human. And it's like, it's still, even though it's like a lot of it, we can just be like, we're done. I can walk away because we're older. But at some point, sometimes it's like, man, it's like, you just get tired of it. You just get really tired of it. I mean, anybody would get tired of somebody in their face constantly screaming.
When screaming negative stuff, like I feel like screaming, can I get a fist bump or stuff like that, you can tolerate better.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I would have done something ridiculous like that. I would totally slam somebody's phone in the ground. And I also should not be looked at as some bastion of morality either. Like, like,
we're good moms. What are you talking about? Anything bad? No, it's like, I get it both ways. I'm just trying to be better with judge, not that anybody else is not being better, but I'm just trying to see it from both sides.
And that's why I made my point. Like, maybe he's not better than that. Like, we're not all better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's
I can get down in the gutter is my point. And I don't think you would do that because I think you're going to be a little classier and more peaceful. Whereas I'm going to be like, no, you really want to do this? Let's go.
She's going to be like, I got my third.
Different personality, right?
Ponytail holder, right? Whereas Tris is like sweet, and she's gonna let it roll off her and not get all heated, which is way better.
Like, whoa, she's about to whoop you,
right?
And I can't do anything about it. So
way better to be like Tris. I'm not advocating for violence or my position. I'm just saying that's what I would do. So I relate it, and it's true. Matt's saying basically he was walking through a crowd and getting harassed, like. It would be different if he was like on filming his segment or something, right? In the media area. But bro's just like walking from point A to point B. And I think most people should be happy to like chill with him. And instead you're going to harass them. Like,
people are just so crazy. Like, people say stupid stuff out in public. And I'm like, you should be embarrassed of yourself. But it could have just been that guy's embarrassment for saying something that clearly made no sense, really. Because of
it was just a way to be
situation. It was just a way to get under his skin, you know what I mean? Like, and it works clearly.
I think it's like he's not going to do anything to Kelce because I'm like, I think he's going to get so much hate because his face is already out there now. Everyone knows he's kind of a bigot for saying something like that. And so I'm like, he's just a stupid kid that wasn't thinking through like what he was saying. I really think so. Or it's like, do you understand? Like, there's there are like, consequences to your actions because you're saying this. Your phone's now smashed. Okay, yeah, you can try to sue, but it's like you're going to get so much hate already because people are going to be like, come on, this is like 2024. Why would you say that?
Right. And nobody thinks what the kid did was okay. Most people think it's hilarious. The people that are like, they're the people with like Tris's opinion where like nobody should be doing that, which is fair.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anybody is like actually in support of the kid. It's like, people are just like, no, Jason, you should do better, which that's fair. I mean, that's fine. Fair. Yeah, absolutely. That's fair. But I don't know if you guys saw, but so TMZ posted yesterday the footage. There's like more footage that people wasn't available at first where when Jason, because the kid comes back up to Jason, it's like, give me my phone. And Jason's like,
I didn't see that.
Jason's like, who's the F word now? And he says it several times. So they're like, look what Jason did. And TMZ posted that by itself. So it makes it look like Jason's just screaming this homophobic slur over and over. And everybody's like, no, you got to show the whole thing. He's literally punking the kid out for what he did to him, which is fair. But so that's an extra layer of it that'll be interesting to see. I've seen a lot of people comment, no, I'm gay and I'm okay with what Kelce said. However, I am not gay. So some things I don't think we weigh in on. So I'm just going to like, if gay people are offended, then they can be offended. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not my issue specifically. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It's kind of like when, a white person will weigh in on some issue. They're like, well, I'm not offended by this if it's a racist thing. And the black people are like, well, you're white, so we don't care about your opinion on this. Like that. I don't know. That might be too much. Matt, you should probably take that out.
All right. Let's switch it on over to NFL and football right now. Okay. So my teams are playing tonight. They are undefeated right now. Yay. They're playing the Bucks. So we'll see what happens.
I picked the Bucks on my pick 'em. I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to pick emotionally.
I haven't done that in a couple weeks since I've been out.
I picked it too, even though I don't think they'll win. I don't care.
I know. I'm also still picking the Dolphins. And clearly I was like 3 points, 1 point losses. Like we're so close. So close.
Are the Rams? Is the Rams Dolphins on Veterans Day?
On next Monday night?
I think it is. Oh. I'm going to go to that. They're playing at SoFi. Let's see. Because we'll have that day off. It's, November 11th is the...
I want to go to a Miami game here.
Yeah, that'd be way better than going to LA.
It wouldn't be cold.
Exactly. Well, it won't be cold in LA, but it'll still be nice to go to Miami game.
Yeah. Get all decked out. I'll have like one of those inflatable dolphin costumes. They have one of those, like the dinosaur.
You have one?
Oh my god!
No, but that would be funny.
That would be great.
How sexy would that be?
Well, not if it's inflatable,
right? Only if it's an inflatable but has a crop top.
It's only.
With a crop top.
Yeah. So I think for Monday, I think we'll have to wear our Jalen Ramsey Rams jerseys to the game on Monday.
Ooh. I still need to wear one of my Team Mom jerseys. I've not worn.
Oh yeah.
Not gotten to wear.
That needs to be done for Veterans Day.
Oh, that's a good idea. Though. I can find one.
Yeah.
So did you guys see the end of the Rams game yesterday?
I did. Yes.
Dude, that was so good. I was a little frustrated, but because the game was the first half, quarterbacking situation, it was like great. And so I don't know if you guys saw this, but Kelly Stafford, Matthew Stafford's wife, dressed him up. So all the girls, they have 4 girls. 4 girls dressed up in Taylor Swift costumes, which was super cute, right?
They're talking about Halloween?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Kelly.
Scary. Very scary.
Kelly dressed her and Matthew as Taylor and Travis at that, was it tennis? When she has on that checkered dress. Travis had on that stupid bucket hat. So tell me, how weird is this? Kelly Stafford, I used to kind of be on the fence about her. She sucks, you guys. How is it? Explain to me, if your husband makes $50 million a year, why do you need clout? Why? Look at that. Here's a picture. Why do you need clout when you are that rich? It's ridiculous to me. Can't you just shut up and go do some charity work and stop being obnoxious? No, she can't. Anyway, how weird is it that you're dressing your husband up as one of his colleagues?
Right?
It's bizarre. Who's a tight end? So I was joking that Matthew was playing quarterback like a tight end yesterday.
And then she pops up on people news.
It was Kelly's fault for dressing him up. I feel like she's always trying to emasculate him. Is that the right word? Emasculate?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the second half was a little better, but I've talked about this before. When Matthew Stafford, when something like clicks in him, he like goes to the dark side. He gets this look comes across him, and it's like evil. Like he's.
I saw your tweet was like his eyes went dark.
They do. They legitimately do. Like you can look at him. If you look at a bunch of side by side pictures, you can see a difference in how he looks. And when he goes to that place, I'm like, oh, Rams are winning. There's no doubt that they're winning. He's just whatever he's going to do. And so the game ended up in overtime, and the Rams got a stop. Dolphins. Who are they playing? Why did my mind just go blank? Matt, who did they play yesterday? Totally. Thank you. Seahawks. Oh my God. It's a huge divisional game, right? So the Seahawks, even though they could have kicked a field goal, they had like 4th and inches or 4th and 1 or 2 or something, and they went for it, and the Rams got a stop. So then the Rams are, marching down the field with a couple great throws from Matthew, and they were basically in field goal range. And instead of going for like a few more yards on a rush to get the field goal, he just throws a dot to Demarcus Robinson, who catches it for a touchdown. And Demarcus Robinson's catch was insane. First of all, I love for this guy that his career has basically been like revived in Los Angeles. He was on the Chiefs for a long time. But he makes this one-handed catch. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal. But the reason he had to make a one-handed catch is because his left arm was being held by Reek for like 5 yards. So his arm is like this. Dude's pulling him back. He still makes the catch. It was amazing. It's very impressive. I mean,
it was good. I missed a lot of football when I was gone, but I caught the last end of that game. And I was like, man, this is actually a really good game. Yeah. And I didn't think it was going to be that good. And I was like, it was impressive. And I forgot like the overtime rules for regular season games because I'm just so used to watching them like in playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that because I always think playoff rules and rollover like are the same as like regular season, but they're different, right? So it was
I'm surprised the Dolphins didn't kick a field goal there, and I'm surprised then that the Rams went for that because that's a risky play, and especially the times that Matthew has targeted a receiver being guarded by Reek is not always go well for him. There's been a lot of interceptions, so it's kind of like, but he had the look, the dark look, so that was be great. So I'm excited to see how the Dolphins. I mean, the Rams are now like a contender basically. Because everybody in their division's pretty mid. So
which is wild because you were like counting them out.
Absolutely. And it's mid. I mean, they are. The 49ers are not good, which is weird. And everybody's like,
but 49ers had like so many people out, injured.
But so, I mean, they have their people back now. They have most of them back. So, I mean,
everybody
team.
And everybody has somebody out. Everybody has somebody out, like some good players out.
They just seemed to have a lot. It was like $1 million worth of people
out, and they still don't have CMC back, but Debo and Kittle are back.
Yeah.
Matt, that's
back in
I mean, here's the thing: the Rams beat the 49ers, and the Rams had no one either, and that's insane to me that the Rams beat them because normally the Rams lose to the 49ers in the regular season. So, I mean, I guess because the division is so just in the middle, everyone they have a chance. I mean, we'll see.
That's good. Well, and we'll see, right? I mean, this is still kind of early, week 9. I mean, that's not early. I guess we're like halfway through.
I mean,
so
I'm not holding for the
now they really need to get it going. Okay. Anyways, I think we need to wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, we talked a lot before we got to
anything like really like.
But it's also a catch-up episode. We haven't had one in a minute, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. Yeah. All right. So stay tuned for next week. Oh, hold up. Did we do we did the fan question about did we like or dislike time change? And we said no, it pretty much.
Oh, I didn't know that was a fan question.
I didn't know it was a fan question either, but we did talk about it.
Sorry, that was a fan. So to the fan, the question is no, we hate it.
Yes. No.
Just one time all the time.
Even though I've been snacking all day already.
My bagel.
Yeah.
Starving.
So remember to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about our YouTube channel. And then also we're on a podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and then don't forget Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. leave a fan question. We like it.
Yeah, and we'll be back with more snacks.
Yay.